Honorable colleagues, I welcome you to today's sitting.
On Tuesday, 2nd April 2024, the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, backed the position of Bank of Uganda to reject a foreign national nominated by the Standard Bank Group to replace the former CEO for Stanbic Bank Uganda, and Juuko.
Uganda has made tremendous progress in human capital development, and the banking sector has not been an exception. The practice that is normally exercised is that foreign nationals are normally recruited as long as there are no capable nationals in that particular country. My request, Right Honourable Speaker, is for this House to associate ourselves with the position of the Central Bank that the Standard Bank Group and Stanbic Uganda's board should explore opportunities for Uganda human resources to run Stanbic Bank Uganda.
Stanbic Bank was in the hands of a Ugandan, Mr. Mwehire. It performed very well. They brought in a female Ugandan young lady, also performed exceedingly well. Now the question of bringing a non-Ugandan for a bank which we entrusted with our biggest assets and keeps most of our money, you would ask yourself why. There is no foreigner who can go to Kenya and become an MD of a bank. None. In South Africa, where Stanbic is coming from, there is no foreigner who can be an MD of a bank in South Africa. Why Uganda?
During the sitting, legislators put government to task over failure to compensate persons affected by conflict and war in Uganda.
The Attorney General and team, they claim that compensation is going on in Teso. But I want to state it here that there are no people that are being compensated. The last ruling was on the 19th of October, 2023, and the court gave government 6 months to pay the people of Teso. Nothing has happened up to now, Mr. Speaker.
From the Attorney General's record, Lango was supposed to be paid to a number of 42,000 claimants. The number that were under-approved were 18,000, leaving 23,000. In the 42, not even the general court-awarded list.
We are in the budgeting process. We are in the budgeting process, and we sincerely hope that some money will be made available for that purpose by the time the budget is done. And if it is, we shall continue to remit the money to the persons who are entitled to it.
Also in the sitting, the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Matia Kasaija, was given a fortnight to provide an action-taken report on compensation of nursery tea farmers in Zombo District.
Zombo District local government, in anticipation of dry spell, requested NAD to defer procurement of the tea seedlings to March 2023. However, by the time of writing this report, the Ministry of Finance had not responded to the request, leaving the district and the farmers in suspense. The Ministry of Finance should compensate the originally verified tea nursery operators in Zombo whose seedlings have overgrown and are no longer viable for planting.
Farmers planted tea, some tea gardens have overgrown, and the government pledged to give a tea factory are one of the prayers still being sought till today. Many families have lost their livelihood to date.
A lot of tea in Zombo has turned into trees. What is very painful is that people utilized their land to cultivate this tree, the tea, and have no other land for other crops and activities. That means that they have hope in only the tea and tea alone. We therefore wish to see a budget trying to solve such problems.
Government was urged to evaluate the absorption process of former Rural Electrification Agency staff into the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development.
Following the placement of the fund under the ministry, all staff were transferred into the ministry under the Rural Electrification Program on the same terms and conditions as they served under REA until the 18th day of October 2022. When the instrument expired and the ministry embarked on the mainstreaming process, using the Ministry of Public Service Rationalization guidelines. The committee noted that this resulted into the review of the structure and the creation of 107 positions under the Ministry of Energy to absorb former area staff. The committee recommended that the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development reevaluate the relevance of posts that were declared redundant to ensure that they fall within the legally accepted ambit of redundancy, with a view of mainstreaming critical staff who were holding such positions.
Those who qualified to provide service, who had the degrees that were required, 87% were absorbed. Those who were not absorbed didn't have the required qualifications, or they didn't have the time, the age to continue holding the positions.
On Wednesday, 3rd April 2024, 4 new members of parliament took oath during the day's plenary sitting.
I, Aguti Sarah, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
I, Dr. Omona Kenneth, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
I, Barugahara Balamateng, I swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will give faithful service to the Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by the law established. So help me God.
I, Ochua David, swear in the name of Almighty God, I will give faithful service to this Parliament and support, uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God.
During the sitting, the Agriculture and Health Committees of Parliament tasked government to design a public information program to sensitize the public about risks posed by mycotoxin contamination.
The committees observed that Uganda's location astride the equator and climatic conditions make it a conducive environment for the growth and multiplication of mycotoxins. The above causes of mycotoxin prevalence are largely unknown by the general public. Government, through Ministry of Agriculture and other responsible ministries and agencies, should create awareness about the existence of mycotoxins in the country and the dangers of contamination of food and water.
The awareness campaign is still low, and we have put priorities to actually make people aware, especially now that we are targeting lucrative markets and that we have attracted investors here to deal with the grain.
Also in the sitting, the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, tasked the Attorney General, Honorable Tue.02.April, to table the bill amending the Copyright and Neighboring Act 2006.
On 20th July 2022, Honorable Kiyaga Hilary sought for leave of the House to introduce a private member's bill entitled the Copyright and Neighboring Rights Amendment Bill. The bill introduces amendment to several provisions of the Act. It was, however, resolved by Honorable Hilary Kiyaga and government to work together to come up with a holistic amendment to the Act. And according to Honorable Attorney General, his submission to the committee, consultation on the bill is ongoing. The committee recommends for expeditious drafting and tabling of the amendments to the Copyrights and Neighboring Rights Act bill to Parliament by government.
The matters of financing, the matters of digitalization, the matters on how these Ugandans can benefit from the sweats of their work. It is very frustrating to be a victim of underemployment as we fight towards seeing that the country addresses the big concern of unemployment of the young people. These are Ugandans who are stranded on how best they can fruitfully gain from the works that they have put out for years.
We have consulted widely on the issue of copyright. We have completed the presentation to the stakeholders. We have completed the cabinet paper. It is in cabinet. This bill has been high on the agenda for the president and the cabinet. And since we filed this, we are just waiting for time. What I can say is I can report back probably next week on what date we've been given on the cabinet agenda, when we can discuss this copyright bill.
On Thursday, 4th April 2024, Lower Madi Member of Parliament, Honorable Ronald Afidra, called for a review of Uganda's traffic laws to curb road accidents.
The police, in their Easter message, brought it to attention of this country that during Easter alone, Ugandans who lost their lives through accident were more than 80, and there were more than 200 accidents. Why am I bringing this in reference to your communication? I think it is ample time and prudent time for us to review the traffic laws in this country. I do remember when we were in Rwanda, Rwanda decided to revise on the speed limit within the city, from bringing it down from 120 to 80. And then that again reduced on the accident rates in this country to 60. My appeal through you, Right Honourable Speaker, that this Parliament considers reviewing the speed limit for different vehicles in the streets of this city.
Colleagues, Honorable Alex Ruhunda and the Forum on Road Safety have been really bringing here very many issues to do with road safety and putting in a lot of effort. I think we need to support all these efforts. Anything that can be done for road safety needs to be emphasized on.
During the sitting, calls were made for efforts to integrate Kiswahili in Uganda through adequate funding and teaching the language.
Efforts have been made to integrate Kiswahili language in Uganda. The judiciary, for example, judiciary and the cabinet are conducting Swahili training sessions. Parliament is yet to begin, but in process. In addition, strategic partnerships with the training institutions have been done. However, in the financial year 2024-25, the activity remains unfunded with a funding requirement of Uganda shilling 3.25 billion.
When it comes to our education system, Kiswahili language is not one of the compulsory languages. Why do we preach about water and take wine? Let us lead by example. Let us prioritize Swahili as one of the languages in our schools, and this will help to cement the East African community.
I want to confirm that with effect of next financial year, if budget is approved, we have an allocation of 94 billion to facilitate to recruit Kiswahili teachers in all government-aided schools.
We don't really have a shortage of teachers. There are over 2,000 Swahili teachers in this country. Honorable Peace Mutuzo is one of them. Yes. So we don't have a shortage of Swahili teachers. What we need to do is deploy them. On the National Swahili Council, we are supposed to have in place the National Swahili Council. I don't know whether the law is here to help us in propagating Swahili. But our plan is that in a short time, we should have 5 examinable subjects: English, Maths, Science, SST, and Swahili at primary level, so to have a generation that speaks Swahili from the beginning.
House adjourned to Tuesday at 2 p.m.